I run an info product that is doing around $500,000 per month. It's not my info product, it's someone else's, but I pretty much run the whole operations. I manage a team of 20. The info product is doing anywhere from like 500K a month to 626K a month and has been doing so for the past few months. Myself, I run an agency doing around $150,000 a month. And I mean, that's not in my pocket, right? The margins aren't the best. I probably profit around 80K a month. And that's with one client, which is pretty crazy. And the nature of what I do is I partner with content creators who have any form of expertise, a strong brand, and I launch a mentorship, coaching program, info product for them, whatever, offers make sense for their audience. And I run up pretty much everything for them other than them creating the course and hosting the fulfillment and the content that they push out. So I do the media buying for them, manage the entire sales team, or at least I don't manage it anymore. I have a manager who manages it. But yeah, I do everything. Backend automations, tracking, like Zapier, build SOPs, email marketing, funnels, write VSL copy, like everything you can think of. I pretty much, my company takes care of that. So yeah, I want to share my 2024 and 2025 lessons and failures from selling multiple seven figures in info products. And how I've worked my way up from offers doing only like 80K a month, just a few months ago to now, scaling them up to 626K a month plus. So first, I want to start with just like my actual story, like high level. I have some like really, really crazy shit, just some foreshadowing. Like, for example, my sales manager, I told him to move out, sign a lease with 3 months rent saved up. He hadn't made any money yet working with me. I literally had to pay his rent 1 month from trying to join Jeremy Haynes' program and him trying to downsell myself, and then my card declining, and then him trying to kick me out of the program. I've got some funny stories to tell. So first, I'm going to start with like high level, how I got here, just like interesting story. And then I'll go into the more tactical stuff that I've learned actually running up a business at this like semi scale. Still baby food. We're not doing $1 million a month yet, but, I've definitely, picked up some lessons since the last YouTube video I pushed out. So anyways, we'll start 6 months ago. I was 19 and I was doing around like 30K a month profit in my own pocket. The business that I was scaling up at the time, I had like a few clients on and off. It was very just like volatile income. And I was basically just like saving up money. Moved out of my parents' house in April 2025. Got a very luxury high rise in Austin. Probably shouldn't have been spending that much at the time, but things ended up working out. Met a bunch of cool entrepreneurs in that building and really just like pushed me to grow a lot more, just like living on my own, having that independence. At the time I had around 3 clients. Portfolio was probably doing like 250K a month. I was probably profiting around 30K a month. And I had 2 launches in a row where I basically took, I was managing so much stuff. Like the nature of the agency I was running, I'm handling the marketing, the sales, the automations, the ops. I'm the guy that like everyone goes to about any problem going on. I'm basically like the mini CEO of 3 info product companies. So like it was very overwhelming, very stupid. Like I don't recommend it with like my agency offers like, oh, I'll do everything for you. So I needed to outsource shit ASAP, and like the thing I was spending my most time on was sales management. So I brought my top closer and one of my good friends up to a sales manager, and he honestly like he had a lot of like natural strengths that would make sense for it, but he obviously sucked at first because he had never done it before, and I sucked at training him. Like I just for like the first client launch ever, I was like, hey bro, like go do all this shit. And I didn't train him or anything. I just said like he had run up setting teams before. he had managed setting teams on like 8-figure offers. So I was like, all right, should be fine to do the same for closers. But it was very different. He was like a setter team lead and not like an actual sales manager. So he hired 3 closers and 2 setters, I believe, in a 1-week time frame. We launched. The launch flopped. This is a launch on paper. We should have been doing at least $250K a month. And the closers we brought on sucked. The setters we brought on sucked, except for one of them. One of them was really good. And basically it sucked, bro. We had to let go of like the whole sales team, or most of the sales team. And also part of it was just there wasn't the best creator market fit or product market fit. A lot of people who were following this content creator, it was an e-com mentorship offer. The dude had a bunch of social proof. He had a great product. But a lot of people followed him, 1 for like entertainment, 2 people who like wanted to buy physical products from him, 3 people who thought he was a sourcing agent. Like it was just a very like fractured audience. And we didn't really have a lot of like assets that actually nurtured people and provided value to show like, hey, we can actually help you build an e-com brand. So like the close rate was just terrible anyways, but also like the closers did kind of suck. So we let go of the sales team, and then my sales leader, I was like, hey bro, you should take the sales calls, get a sense for the ICP, and then like in the meantime we'll find another closer and like a better sales team, build it back up. But he had been like super burnt out. He had to like onboard and manage this entire team in just like a very short period of time. I pretty much left him to drown because I did a bad job, onboarding and training him up for the task. And he also was training someone from the UK. So he had to wake up at like 5 a.m. every day to train this dude. And he was just like so sleep deprived, so out of it. And like the one day where he was finally just like taking a nap and like getting some rest, he had some sales calls on his calendar, and he set an alarm, but he just slept through his alarm. And like it was just the worst look for this client. Like he was supposed to take the sales call, he slept through it. And then we were both in the Slack, like Brandon, I just leaked his name. I don't think it matters. Brandon is the name of my sales leader. We were both like, bro, Brandon, like, where are you? And bro was asleep. And so then the coach, the face of the brand, then has to hop on. He takes a sales call and he piffs. And I was like, fuck, that's like $3K that we would have burned if Brandon hadn't been sleeping, and if I had done my job to actually like train him and give him guidance rather than just like leaving him to drown. So I like said like, hey bro, I don't think you should be doing this anymore. Go start prepping for this next launch we have coming up 12 days later. So launch number 1 was like, I consider it a fail. We only did like around 100K in like a 45-day period when we should have definitely done more. Launch number 2, we're like, all right, we've ripped in this niche before. This guy's a big brand. His content's like pretty engaging. Like he should do pretty well. We launch, and I mean, for one, I don't know if he lied about his numbers or his numbers just went down, but he had a low ticket product that said he was at around like 50K a month. And then when we launched, it was only at like 15K a month. And the high ticket product, we only did around like 60K in a 30-day period. So that launch like flopped pretty bad as well. Like his audience just like wasn't that bought in on who he was. And like that launch, we did everything that would like make sense to do well. Like looking back on that launch, there's like not a lot that I would have done differently. It was just like the audience really did not like care that much or like trust the dude. So now Brandon has moved out to Austin with me with less than 3 months rent saved up. Both launches have flopped. He's barely made any money from working with me. And I actually end up having to Venmo him money for rent for month 3. And we have this final launch coming up, third launch, and he has 14 days. Yeah, 14 days to hire 14 people. So he onboards 4 closers, 8 dialers, 12 people. 14 days to hire 12 people. And like literally every team member was amazing. We didn't end up letting go of anyone, which is like unheard of. We fired one dialer. And then, you know, further throughout the launch, we fired a couple more. But like we had we had some hard workers. We had our closers. All right. So here's the thing with dialers, with a B2C audience, I would argue that skill does not matter. It is strictly just like volume and work ethic for a dialer. For a closer, on the other hand, skill matters a lot more. So our closers were, I would say, some of the best. Two of them now have gone to like launch their own sales training, and like they're definitely about to be like the next John Mao, arguably better than John Mao. Anyways, John's a goat. But yeah, the dialers were very hard working. Like the team had great chemistry, great training. And the third launch, like this company is doing 105K a month, and we hit 626K the next month. So we 6x'd the business. And it wasn't just like a launch and then flops. 626K, 505K, 495K. This month we're pacing like 530K. So we've kind of like plateaued, and now I'm like, you know, locking in on some things where we can like hit that next breakthrough. Definitely need to run up some webbies, some more lead magnets, scale up ads. Ads have been doing pretty well. We have like a $50 cost per call, which has been great. Anyways, so this launch was in July. We did 626K, but like earlier on in the month, we did 100K in the first 3 days, and like we're getting a fuck ton of leads and calls booked. And I was like, okay, like how do we hit $1 million a month ASAP? I know, I'll buy Jeremy Haynes' program, because that's like all he talks about is hitting $1 million months. I need to learn paid traffic and like get better at marketing. Like sales is what I was better with, was like sales team, sales process. Like we had a dialed in pre-call process. We had some sick software. Like we were doing like 30,000 outbound dials a month. Our close rate was like 50 to 70%. Like that side of things was like pretty locked in, but we needed to improve the marketing aspect of things, scaled with paid ads. So I hit up Jeremy Haynes. I hop on a sales call with his team, and they try and downsell me, which is funny. They try and downsell me to their master internet marketing program. I'm like, no. Like I swear I can buy this, And then he's like, okay, man, like show proof that you're actually making what you're making. And so I like screen shared, we made 100K in 3 days. And here I am thinking that it needs to be like, even though I'm technically like running the whole operations of this business, it's not technically my business. Like I'm like a rev share partner, right? So I think it's okay, but I don't realize like it technically has to be like my agency doing that amount of money. So anyways, I'm like, yeah, like don't worry, I can pay for this. Boom. All 3 of my cards decline. And then I have to call up my client and be like, hey bro, can we put this on your card? Like I really want to join this program. He clutches up, sends me his card. We join, great. I have my onboarding call with Jeremy. Jeremy's like, did you lie to my team? Like he starts getting pissed on the onboarding call. Like you didn't make 100K a month last month, And he was actually going to kick me out of the program. Which like shout out Jeremy for being real and like caring about his product. Like he really cares. His product's amazing. And by the way, like if you're doing over 100K a month and you're not in there, then you're sleeping. Anyways, he tries to kick me out of the program, or he was going to. And then I was like, no, it's on the client's card, which is truthful because all my cards declined, it ended up being on the client's card. And by the way, his reasoning for it, I mean, 1, he's like, oh, I want to protect the rich people. For 2, he's like, I don't want scarcity. Like the 5K a month that you pay to be in here, I don't want you to even like think about it. Like it needs to be such a small thing, because if you have a mindset rooted in scarcity, it's going to like hurt you a lot in growing a business. So, yeah, lots of respect. Anyways, because it was on the client's card, we stayed in the program. And then the next month, agency ended up doing 137K. So like technically, I could stay in the program. Anyways, I just thought that was a funny story, but I learned a lot from his program, implemented a bunch from it. And because of the stuff we implemented, even though like a lot of our traffic is coming from organic, we like maintain pretty consistent numbers, which I think like a lot of people, they'll do organic launches and it's like, boom, make a bunch of money quickly, and then it just like drops. But we just like shot up and then we've stayed consistent, but now we're plateauing. We just need to figure out how to scale up and work towards that million a month, which I'm sure will be there soon. The main kind of like priorities right now is a lead magnet, because we've been right hooking the audience a lot. It's a very just like CTA, CTA, CTA. So we're pushing out a free course funnel. I have a friend in this exact niche with a free course funnel with doing 800K a month with 60K on YouTube and 10K on IG, just from Webbies and a free course funnel. So it's like a very value first approach, which we need to work on. Because right now we're just running a book a call funnel. It's just opt-in, VSL, application, and then pre-call process and whatnot, confirmation page, some videos to pre-handle objections, pre-call email flows, dialer hits people up beforehand. Anyways, I'll get more into the tactical stuff in a second. I just want to talk more about, lessons learned. Pretty much that was that. I guess other priorities. I recently bought another mastermind from this lady who does Russell Brunson CRO. She used to be the director of marketing at a $2 billion company called Agora. And I recently paid $5K a month for 5 months for a $25K program, year-long access to this mastermind. So far, it's been great. But like the first thing she said when I joined was like, hey, you need to dial in on FTC compliance. We're mostly compliant, but that's not like, I hadn't really thought about it. I was like, let's just hyperscale and make money. But now it's like, shit, we're actually like getting to that stage where we need to worry about compliance. And she said, once you're on a 3 initial government watch list, you never get off it. So like the SEC, the FTC, especially nowadays with a lot of info products, especially in the B2C BizOp market, they're really cracking down. Some of the big names that you see are getting audited. Like I know just through like word of mouth. So like a couple of the people you see on your For You page every day, like a couple of them are being audited. So that definitely like, I want to be wary of that. So we're paying a compliance attorney to pretty much audit everything, like our sales scripts, our VSL, help us come up with like refund policy, term of service, privacy policy, all that stuff. And it's honestly like really interesting, like a lot of little things. So there are a lot of different gray area. For example, if you're on a sales call and you do goal setting, like a common thing is like, okay, John, like, what's kind of the North Star with you looking to get into ecom? Like, I don't want to assume anything, but is it, like finances? Are you looking to, whatever. Better to leave it open-ended and let them set their own goal. But basically, you doing that goal setting with them, it's almost implying like they're going to hit that goal if they join your program, which is like a gray area with FTC. There's like the opt-in message, like the checkbox before they opt in. Another example is say you have a make money online offer and a student hits 40K a month. You advertise that. You need to say these results are not typical. And it's honestly, you shouldn't even advertise that, to be honest. If you want to be like 100% safe, it's better to just do like stats. For example, we recently surveyed the audience, or surveyed our customer base. It's a day trading offer. We found out that 24% of people got their first payout within 1 to 16 weeks of being inside the program, which is like pretty fucking crazy. That they pretty much like made an ROI. 24% of people made an ROI in 1 to 16 weeks, which is like wild for an info product. So, just like marketing with data to be more compliant having contracts. Another thing, if you display testimonials, you need like written consent from people. If you do get audited by the FTC, you need to have like testimonials, bank statements. If you show that shit, like there, it goes very, very deep. So that's something we're really looking to dial in on is FTC compliance. The next thing is emails. So this lady who worked at Agora, she said like a lot of these companies make most of their money from emails, which really makes sense, especially if you're scaling with paid, because emails are really like the best way to warm people up a lot on the back end, and continue to ascend your existing customer base. And so like our emails, our deliverability sucks, mostly lands in promotions. We have good open rates, to be fair, like 35 to 50% open rates, which is not bad, but our deliverability could definitely be better. And just like overall email strategy is like not there. And it's a very small percentage of our revenue. And she was saying like, if you're doing 500K a month now, you should be making like an extra 200K a month just from emails. So that's definitely a big priority. Another thing with this offer, we were doing 150K a month with a low ticket product that we ended up just like nuking entirely, like a $1.8 million per year cash collected, like not revenue, cash collected income stream that we just Thanos snapped. And shout out the client for being like cool with that, because I'd be very stressed to do that. But essentially that low ticket product was over delivering so much that people wouldn't want to ascend into our 3K or 5.8K packages, because they're like, hey, I'm becoming profitable just from just from $100 a month subscription. So yeah, we ended up nuking that, and it ended up being the right play. But now 60% of our applicants have less than 1.5K to their name. So what do we have for them? Right now it's just like YouTube. So we need to come up with a new lower ticket product for them, for the people who aren't financially qualified, but like want more help from us. So that's another big priority. And another thing I'm cooking up, which I already mentioned, is a free course funnel, which I'm excited for that. What else do we have? Oh, training student success coaches to upsell high ticket products on the back end. If you have done this successfully, please let me know like what the method is. I'll just share my experience. I heard Alex Hormozy speak on this, which is that salespeople upselling on the back end works well because they're salespeople, so they're good at sales. Success coaches upselling on the back end works well because they have trust with the student, but they suck at sales and they don't like sales and they suck at it. So you either have someone who doesn't have trust, but they're good at sales, or someone who sucks at sales, doesn't want to do it, but they have trust. So like I've given a pretty decent process to my success coaches. Basically the way we do it, inside the program, there's a one-on-one onboarding call. That's pretty much it. But there's 24/7 DM support. They also run group calls where they'll, talk to people personally on those group calls. And so like the ascension process, the SSC will DM the person, say, hey, John, I saw you struggling with XYZ in the community. I know technically you're only supposed to get a one-on-one onboarding call, but I was wondering if maybe, you'd want to hop on. I'm happy to help you overcome, your whatever XYZ roadblock is holding you back. Boom, they hop on, they provide that extra value. And then at the end, they're like, hey, by the way, have you seen the inner circle? Inside the inner circle, we have I think it could help you a lot more. And then if the student's interested, then the SSC we're like testing out two different processes. One, they just like toss the offer right then and there, or two, they do a live transfer to a closer and they're like, cool, how about you talk to John? John will get you situated with, what the whole program could look like for you, how it'll benefit for you, and like help you come up with whatever payment option works best for you. Boom, live transfer, and then the closer takes over. So yeah, that's what we're testing. And we've like really, I know we're missing out on so many ascensions on the back end. Like our SSCs, one, are just like not doing the volume. Two, they just like come off as salesy. They like hate the idea of being salesy, so they try not to be salesy, which makes them salesy. They just have like the worst limiting belief around sales, and they think of it as like, I'm just like selling this person or taking their money after they already paid us. Like it feels so slimy, when it's like, no, dude, we gave someone an offer that they gave money for, and we broke down the terms clearly, and they're still struggling, and they're coming to us for more help, and we're saying, hey, we can provide this more help, but we have labor and our own costs that we have to take care of. So if you want this stuff, you'll have to pay a little extra just because we put more into it, right? So that's been like a struggle of mine. So if you have any experience doing upsells on the back end, please let me know. Outside of that, managing a team of 20 has been a lot of fun. Like I dropped all my clients to focus on this. And what I love working about them is they just care about content and helping the people in their community, and they like don't want to touch the business, which like you could see that as a negative of like, it's like hard to work with them, they're lazy, but like I shouldn't even say that, because they're like very hard working with content and they care about the people that they're helping. But it gives me the opportunity to learn like everything. Like I hire their coaches, I manage their coaches, I hire and manage their customer support reps, like everything. What I get to choose whatever vendors we work with, like it's super sick. Where is I going with that? Oh yeah. It's just, I think one of the most fulfilling things about being a business owner is just having a big team. We have 8 team members doing over 6 figures a year, 3 doing 7 figures a year. That's myself and the 2 faces of the brand. So that's like a sick feeling. And I recently, 2 of those team members, like 2 of our best closers, moved into my apartment in Austin, which is awesome. And they live in person with the sales manager there in Austin. And then I just moved out to Miami with the client, and also like another influencer. And it's just like, by the way, not like Brickell, Miami. I can't stand that. We got a house in like the suburbs where it's like peaceful and quiet, and I can actually think. I don't feel like my brain is like crowded out by all the signal and noise. Or wait, that's contradictory, by all the noise. So yeah, the house is awesome. It's big. It has a basketball court, ping pong table, pool table, trampoline, putting green, hot tub, sauna, cold plunge. It's insane. And I also went from sleeping, I only had a 1 bedroom. And so I was sleeping in my closet and working in my bedroom because I work more than I sleep. So now I actually have a bedroom and an office, which is sick. This is the house came furnished. So like, I'm in like a samurai room right now. There's a katana like right there. I have training swords like right here, and I have daggers on the wall behind me. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I guess that's like a life update for anyone who's been like following me for a while, or in the info space, and like wants to come into the world and get some more lessons from me and the shit I'm learning scaling this business. But yeah, it's pretty kind of crazy to think about that I'm like 20. I always hate when people say like, oh, you should be proud of yourself or whatever. The only time I like actually feel it is if it's someone I respect, who's like way ahead of me, like way, way, way ahead of me. But like, it is kind of crazy to think about that I'm 20, and I'm managing a team of 20, and have a business that's doing 500 to 600K a month, and live in a like multi-million-dollar mansion that's 6,000 square feet. And whenever I walk outside, I go on a walk every day, and there's a basketball hoop out front. I like shot a basketball the other day, and then I go for my walk. this couple walks by and they're like, "Oh, you play basketball for school, da da da," and like I always just go along with it, like, "Oh no, I don't play basketball," but what, like I don't deny the fact. Like when they say like, "Oh, are you in school?" I just like go along with it because if I try and explain to them that like, no, I'm living there, like they just like no one comprehends. It's crazy how much opportunity there is online. Like it's unfathomable. And the hardest part is just like breaking through the like early stage trenches because nobody wants to work with you because you've worked with nobody. And you basically just have to do like just like unfathomable volume and grunt work until you just like get that first case study. Then you get slightly better, then better, then better, then better. You basically just like work your way up in case studies. But really, in like scaling a service-based business, the most important thing is the results you deliver and like getting to the point where all your clients come from referrals and basically creating a supply constrained business. At least this has been my methodology, is like I do so much, I deliver such great results that I make tons of money from each person I work with, and I physically can't take on more people. And I love having a wait list of people that I just say no to. Like I'm only working with this one person right now, and I can't even like foresee a time frame in which I'll be able to work with anyone else because I just have the sick opportunity of like basically being the CEO of this business that has it'll probably be an 8-figure business soon, which is sick. But anyways, I'm going to start creating more YouTube videos. So if there's anything tactical that you want to see of like sales process, what we're doing with ads, although I'm probably not the best person to learn ads from. Right now, we're only spending like $500 a day. We have a $50 cost per call. I've learned some neat tricks from like Jeremy, and I recently bought Alex Hormozzi's upsell, and the director of marketing at Agora. So it's not necessarily like shit that I'm learning from like aggressively scaling with ads, but it's like shit that I've learned from these other people that I've implemented that has worked all right for us. But if there are like any tactics at all that you want to learn more about, comment below. I'm happy to make some videos on it. I appreciate you watching these 30 minutes and have a good one. Peace.